goodness. Why did it even have it to that? Oh my goodness. So sound check. How are we for sound? And once we go live, I'll clip all that out, once it finishes. I mean, how was everybody doing? I'm going to get some shares out too. You guys know I need my shares. All right. Everybody doing? We got Dr. Specimen in the building. Okay. Hold on. Oh, okay. See, my own phone talking. Okay. My bad. My bad. I see we got Chris, MoFam. Chris, what's popping, man? What's popping? I see we got Shane, man. Always good to see you, Shane. Now, first, let's just get a couple shares out. If you are on the Facebook, YouTube, or anything, hit the like. Please share out the content. This is going to be a deep one. Okay. And I want everybody's input on this because I believe it's necessary. So a couple things I'll do also while I'm sending out the shares is I will put the invite guest link because once I finish, I'm going to be inviting anyone in to discuss this same topic. All right, here we go. Let's talk about it. Bam. I'm getting all my shares, man. And for those who don't know, I'm on all platforms. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, Kick, you name it, I'm there. So we're just going to get out a couple more shares. I don't even have the soundboard going. I left all that off, guys. It's just like this is going to be a debate where I got everything. Look, I got all my notes here. I'm ready to debate everything. Here we go. And a couple more shares out. And also for those who tune in afterwards, we're going to clear all that. We're going to clear everything with this. There we go. Sharing streams. Bam. Okay. And if you're on Facebook, please go ahead and share out on Facebook. If you are on YouTube, go ahead, share out. If you're on Restream, there is actually a way you could pair up and bring your entire Restream family over here. Okay. And that's what we're about, bringing everyone. So I'm going to do one more share. Let's see. Actually, I did too. I slipped up on y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Okay. Here we go. All right, I'm done. I'm gonna stop. My bad. Here we go, y'all. Let's get straight to it. Pop the top. Let's take a sip. For those who don't know, I'm taking it light. So it's a Mike's Hard Lemonade today. So let's get to it. Guys, this is a big one. We got a lot of different posts that get interaction over the past month. This has been the most engaged post where everyone seems to comment. We got a lot of others with a lot of comments, but this one, it varied so much with so many comments that it's very debatable. Okay. And for those who know retro game systems, tune in, stay tuned. I know you might see me blocking the systems, but we will go over each one. What's that last one? Panasonic 3DO behind me, okay? We will go over each and every one. But first, let's show exactly what was going on that Facebook page. I'm going to pull that up now, and I want to actually show you guys how varied it was. There was no one answer for this one. Okay, let's quick hit share. All right, we got a lot going on the Facebook page. I'm gonna scroll down past, like I told you, we got a lot of people on the Facebook page. Nick Moses 05. Also, this is on Apple, Spotify, all those other good places. So we're gonna share the screen. I'm gonna make sure now everybody should be able to see that correctly. If you have any issues, please let me know. But you can see that's me, my pretty face live right now. I don't know why on Facebook it does that. It doesn't pull in the one that's going on, but nonetheless, it says happening now. Let's go ahead and go down to it. Like I told you, we got a lot of different debate topics, but the main one I want to pull up is right around here and still waiting. I told you we got a lot A lot of posts too. So if you don't know, we got a lot of gaming news, a lot of funny things. We went over this topic that's about to show now because I know it's coming up. Here we are, right here. We went over this topic before about, if PlayStation 2 and Xbox never existed. This is something you can tune in for the other video if you want to see that. Which one would you get, GameCube or Dreamcast? We went over that and discussed it. But this is the one here. Which one is the best failed console? Okay. So as you can see, we have Sega Dreamcast, PlayStation Vita, Wii U, Ouya, Sega Saturn, and Panasonic 3DO. Okay, nice mixed variety of choice. I like it. So let's go through the comments real fast, and I'm gonna break everything down. Now, for those who do not know, once I start breaking stuff down, you're gonna have to get your popcorn, man. You're gonna have to get the drink because I got the data, man. I got it. Okay. So which one of these consoles deserve better? So Corey says it would have to be the Wii U. Very underrated console. All right. And I will say, Corey, you are right. The Wii U, very underrated. It was one of those systems where I finally got to play a full console, full games on the crapper. So it was beautiful. I will say Wii U. Then we have Zach Wood. My man said Dreamcast, then Wii U. Okay, Dreamcast, then Wii U. For those who don't know, Dreamcast, revolutionary. Okay, we're going to break that down. But Sega's console, I think it was right after the Sega Saturn, and Saturn. I don't know how I say that. I feel like I need to take a sip. So Jesse Potter, Dreamcast. Belvar, Dreamcast. We got 2 more Dreamcast. That's 3. All right. Wes Jordan, 100% the Vita. Came out too soon. Great for emulation too. I cannot disagree with Wes on that. Okay, so that's a good way to analyze it, Wes. Now, I'm going to go to the chat too. I have a whole tier list. No, we got somebody with a tier list. I like that. I like the tier list. Now, Colt Hardick said Wii U. All right, and that's another Colt too. Is that Corey and then Colt Hardick. Wii U. All right, so much homebrew can be done with it. RetroArch on the Wii U for the win. Wii U is a very easy to mod console as well. So, man, we got more comments. We're not done. Marcus, Vita. Look at Frank and Bree following up with the Vitas. Vita's strong in here. Now we got 4 Vitas. We got a lot of Dreamcast. We got a couple Wii U's in there. Sega Saturn. My man, Kenji. All right, we're going to give you alias from now on, man. Kenji said Sega Saturn and said we need to talk about this on the podcast. You know what? We talking about it. All right. Now, this may not be a podcast special, right? But it's good enough for me. So, Nick Giles, my dog. We go back. Ajax, Flapjacks. You know what I mean? Knapsacks, crack sacks. Okay, he says Sega Saturn. Jesse Owens, Sega Saturn. Do you see where I'm at right now? Do you see where I'm at right now? I'm so torn. Already, we got so many different people. Vitas, Wii U, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast. We got multiple consoles. Let's continue. Ken, Ouya, hands down. You know what, man? Talk yo ish, Ken. Y'all can tell him I said that live. Okay? Talk your ish. Represent Ouya. Ain't nobody else gonna say Ouya. They don't understand. They don't understand. Now, enough with that. We can pull me back up. Big screen. Okay. So we're going to go over each and every single one. I'm going to break it down from the rooter to the tutor of each one of these consoles. And believe me, you need to go ahead and get your drink, sit down, relax. If you're watching this on the recap, this is perfect time. You can pause it. You can do whatever you need to. If you listen to it on the podcast, it's nice. You can pause and everything. But if you're live, just go ahead and get everything ready. Okay? Sippy sip. Let's get to it. I got a couple things that I think should be highlighted for each of these consoles. Let's start with the first. Why did each console fail? I think that's a big deal. Okay? Excuse me. I think that's a very huge deal on why the console failed. Okay? So let's start there. I'm gonna go down the list, and I got the systems in front of me, so I don't have to look at the picture. Okay? So Sega Dreamcast. Okay, I got a few notes here, but I'm just kind of go through it real quick. First, poor timing. I think it was bad timing when the Sega Dreamcast came out. I believe shortly after the PlayStation 2 was going to be released. So it was like Sega Dreamcast was ahead of the curve a little bit at the wrong time. I know PlayStation 2 was out. I'm not sure. When did the PlayStation 2 release? Anybody help me out? When did it? Because from what I remember, I feel like the PlayStation 2 kind of overshadowed the Sega Dreamcast when it came out. I had a PlayStation 2, Grand Theft Auto 3. I did not play my Dreamcast besides sports titles after that, but there were wonderful titles on the Dreamcast. But that's one thing. I think it was just very bad timing. Okay. Another one. I think that the piracy side of it played a huge part. For those who do not know, Sega Dreamcast was one of those systems that was a CD-based system that you could simply put into your CD burner. You can use a software like Clone, I think it was Clone CD and Clone DVD or Image Burn or any one of those CD copying softwares. You can do a direct image to image copy. And that game would work on the Sega Dreamcast, excuse me. Yes, you could burn out a game and play it. There was no piracy protection. And I'm going to tell you how bad it was. If the game was small, let's say the game might have been 100 megabytes. You get another one that's 400 megabytes, another one that's 700 megabytes. You can put it all on one disc. You can put the one disc in there and bam, go through. Now, I do believe Dreamcast was using DVDs. Excuse me if I said CDs. I do believe, because that was around the CD DVD era. And I know PlayStation 2 was DVD playback. So you could watch the movies on PlayStation 2. You just put it in and play it. Dreamcast, I think it was a little different. You had to set up the CD a certain way and then it would work. But nonetheless, that was a big thing because people would literally go to family videos. I think Blockbuster was kind of dead at this time. So there was like family videos, other places where you can go, libraries, to rent games. And people would rent games and copy them and take them right back. And you would have a brand new Dreamcast game. So I think that was another factor that really hurt it. The other thing I mentioned was the DVD playback. I don't recall, and somebody let me know if I'm wrong. Did Dreamcast have DVD playback capabilities? I don't think it did. And I recall Sony PlayStation, many reps broke with a PlayStation for a CD player. They was using PlayStations for CD players way back, and the DVD capabilities came back. And people started using PlayStation 2s for DVD players. Same thing when PlayStation 3 came along. They used it for Blu-ray. And it's kind of the thing that Sony has done with those systems at the time. And I think that really hurt. And also Sega was they were really doing bad, man. Saturn wasn't doing too good. And then you come out with this system. So it was just a follow-up like bam, bam, two bad ones. So that's for Sega Dreamcast. Nonetheless, okay, PlayStation Vita. Okay, and I got notes here to back up even my notes. I'm real. All right, you got notes to back up your notes. Okay, so I'm going to go over PlayStation Vita. One, cost. Yo, the Vita, hold up. I took this down. The PlayStation Vita, when it was released, okay, was $249.99. So $250, y'all, for the Wi-Fi model. And it was $299 for the Wi-Fi 3G model. Guys, we talking the price of a full console. All these consoles we're naming right now, the same price. So you're convincing someone to spend the same amount that they spend on that handheld that they spend on the console, which is something the Nintendo Switch is doing now. But the Nintendo Switch has other things. It has a dock to give you the full, TV. And, now it's running. You don't have to worry about, oh, it's overheating because I'm overclocking it after I mod it. No, put it in your dock, man. Chill out. What you doing? This is another subject. My bad. I'm getting off. But nonetheless, that was one thing. Extremely high cost. Okay. Some people said games. I didn't put games on the list, okay? I actually thought the games were pretty good. PSP was way longer for a list of games, but I thought the games were pretty good. But you had people talk about the games. Oh, memory cards. I see memory cards on my list. Hold on. Let me get some to y'all. PlayStation Vita. I don't know Sony why they did this, but Sony decided to go with the proprietary memory card. Okay? So to give you an idea, it's as if the Nintendo Switch came out and decided not to use micro SD cards, to use a new format, to where you couldn't just buy any SD card from Amazon or anywhere. You had to get this specific SD card. Very bad. Frank, I see you tuning in. Thank you, Frank. Thank you for tuning in. Vita, favorite. I see you. Frank, we got Frank with the Vita. Okay, we're speaking of the Vita. So memory cards were proprietary, which means only used on the PlayStation Vita. These memory cards were priced, okay? And this is back in the day, y'all, so I don't want y'all to get to thinking. Like, I think the system, when did the system come out? All right, I'm telling y'all, I got everything. I got all my facts. So the system was, 2011. So this is 2011. This ain't 12 years ago. I want y'all to work with me. 12 years ago, PlayStation Vita memory cards were priced at $19.99 for a 4 gigabyte card. Y'all, $20 for a 4 gigabyte card that can't be used on nothing else. Only on the Vita. Can't be used on your cameras, can't be used, on your phone later, nothing. Strictly on the Vita. And $20. You hear that now? Oh, $20 is nothing. Yeah. You spend $20 now. How many gigabytes are you getting? 64? On an SD card that comes with an adapter. Okay, this is proprietary memory card, 4 gigabytes, $19.99. And for those who know the Vita game sizes, talk to me. All right. So then you had $99. I'll repeat, y'all. $100, 100 smacks, 100 buckaroos, $100, 100 cash, cold cash. For a 32 gigabyte memory card. If I had my soundboard going right now, I ain't even worried about the soundboard because I'm on one right now. Let me take another sip. $100 for a 30 gigabyte memory card. I'm sorry, was another reason why the PlayStation Vita was gonna fail. All right. Now, what else? I did put, this is another thing I mentioned. That was at a time where it was a portable console, but phones were becoming powerful enough to play very good mobile games. So it entered the market at a tough time where mobile games were available to a lot of people for free. That's when it kind of started. So bam, there you go. And I got my man, Dr. Specimen. Thank you for that. Right now, you can find a 256 gigabyte SanDisk card for $20. So that's just to give you an idea, okay, from one to the other. You got a $20 4 gigabyte card in 2011 versus a 256 gigabyte card now, which is a SanDisk card, by the way, can be used on multiple things, anything for $20. So there goes the Vita. So let's move on because I'm trashing the Vita enough. And Vita's a great system. I agree with my man Frank. It's a great system. For those who don't know, I can click this too and pull up. I'm trying to go through. My bad if I don't get to. Hold on. We good? We good the camera? Okay, we good. All right, there we go. So next, Nintendo Wii U. Oh, everybody's favorite, it's just something about the Wii U, man. It's something about that before the Switch came. But nonetheless, why did the Wii U suffer? Okay, I got my notes here. So First thing, I think marketing was bad on Nintendo. Yes, I don't think Nintendo marketed right. I think there's a lot of other. I'm gonna give you a prime example. Earlier on, I said it was one of the first consoles, a full console that I remember playing on the crapper. Why not do a commercial doing that? Why not have a commercial where there's actually an older male or a teen or something else? Hold on, mom. I can't cut off my game. He's going to the bathroom. Oh, he goes downstairs. He goes upstairs. He's still playing the game, and he finished beating the boss. Right? The marketing was just bad. They just kind of released it like, hey, here's a new system, and this is a controller. No, it's not a screen. It's a controller for the console over there. It was just very, very confusing. Naming dumb. Okay, Wii U. If right now, let's talk about the Switch. You got the Switch. You have the Switch Lite. You have the Switch OLED. And notice these are the same name. If you came out with a Switch, let's say a Switch U, the only reason we would think this is a different console or a predecessor is because the Wii U. Okay, because Wii U, people thought it was another version of the Wii that did not look the same. Very bad, marketing wise. Okay, dual screen gameplay, because you got the one big screen. That was hard. I could see, even though you have these other games and you have controllers, you needed to have multiple screens, and that was something that would have cost, but I think should have been offered. And there should have been games and other things in marketing to show the benefit of owning multiple screens. I think it would have been a nice cash out, but nonetheless, man, my fingers are rubbing the ink off this paper. It didn't attract enough audience by doing all that. Also, the game lineup was and there were those select few hits that it had. It had a select few hits. Talking about them hits it had was hits. Okay. So now let's get to the Ouya. All right, the Ouya. Ouya, I believe, was a few things. One, I put down here that it was hardware limitations, because I do believe at the time it was trying to bring Android and mobile gaming to a television, so you could be able to sit with your family and be able to, go ahead. Hey, we're having a great time, and we cut on Diner Dash, and we're both playing. Right. But then you had certain games that would not run on it. A lot of mobile games started becoming a lot more powerful. There were hardware limitations on what you could connect to it to be able to play these games. So a lot of different hardware limitations. So I just put hardware limitations on there. And at the time, it just got smashed. I mean, it was already too much stuff out there. It was Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft. The whole gaming market was sold up, done, dizzy, dead. Okay, was no coming back from that. I think Ouya just another thing with bad timing. So that's another one with bad timing. So that's it for the Ouya. It's not really much, but I think the Ouya, the biggest thing that a lot of people don't understand about an Ouya is it's underrated. And we'll talk more about that. We'll get more into it of why it's underrated. Next, Sega Saturn. Okay, I want to talk specifically about the Sega Saturn. Okay, big thing that I've heard. Okay, and I'm not a developer, but I do interviews with developers, right? And one thing I have heard from many developers is when you're developing for certain hardware versus others. It's a big thing. Some hardware you may be capable to do some things that you're not on others. And from my understanding, the Saturn hardware was very complex at the time. There wasn't many people developing games for it. So that left the game list kind of short. I do remember playing games like I think it was Fighting Vipers. That was a good port. But then you had games that, what was it? The Horde, Knights. If those remember Knights, beautiful game. These games were other games that were developed for Saturn, but the architecture very hard to develop for. And you've seen that with the Mortal Kombat, I think Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and other games that took a long time to just get right on the console. Another one, early release. It was crazy. But this is a console that had an early release. So just imagine if Xbox Series X was going to come out and it says, hey, we're going to come out, on Independence Day, July 4th. We're going to drop the big one. Boom. They go like that. But next thing you know, when they drop it, it's actually June 4th. and you could have got one already. You pre-ordered it though for July 4th, and next thing you know, money comes out your account. You didn't expect it, and you get an overdraft charge. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just nasty work. You can't do that. That was very, very bad. Now, for the Saturn, I did get some extra stuff here. Okay. The Sega Saturn had a dual CPU architecture. Okay. And that's what made it difficult. Now, I'm not too familiar with the dual CPU architecture, but it was a big thing. Okay, that Saturn was trying to push the hardware envelope. Back then, a lot of people don't know the bit thing was so, oh my gosh, 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, 54-bit, 128-bit, 256-bit. Like, it was just all a marketing shmam. Once you get to a certain point, the changes become minimal at some point. So what if I say, hey, this one's 2 times it, but you look at it and they look exactly the same? So in marketing, it was all marketing for that nonetheless. But that's why the Sega Saturn, boom, it went down. And that's pretty easy. And also, you had Sony out there. Sony was killing the game. Major lineup. But Saturn had a lot of great games that I love, man. Saturn is one of my top systems out of this list too. So yeah, unfortunately, but that's why I died. Just not a great game list. A lot of developers didn't want to work with it. Sony was out there smashing it, and early release, right? Panasonic 3DO. Here we go. A lot of people love Panasonic 3DO. It is like a culture in gaming to talk about Panasonic 3DO. But really expensive. That was another one. I want to go ahead and talk about that. Now, the Panasonic 3DO, I'm going to just give you guys an idea. I want you guys to take a guess. Okay, now he said Saturn. Okay, Saturn, bad price. You know what? I'm with you on that, Frank. But what the difference was, at least the Saturn price was based on the hardware. They had the dual CPU. They were charging more because the hardware, they had to make back some of that money for the hardware, right? But the downside was you're charging more for the hardware, but they're not getting the games out of it. And they're leaning on certain titles like Virtua Fighter, Fighting Vipers, and things like that. So now, my man, Dr. Specimen on it, but I'm going to go ahead and repeat it. You are correct, sir. So the Panasonic 3DO was way too expensive. Another system that is not on this list, and notice you don't see Neo Geo, okay, on failed console. You know why? Because Neo Geo actually was arcade ports before its time, and it worked. You just had to pay for it, okay? It was a lot. Everything was great. You just had to pay the money. Panasonic 3DO, you paid the money. You didn't get the money worth, okay? But the Panasonic 3DO was priced at $699.99. I tried to trick them. It was $700, man, okay? $700 at launch, okay? You compare that to $300. It's a no-brainer. Bro, I'm going to pay $300 and look how many games I can get. And I believe games at the time were priced at $40. Yo, I can get a list of games. Forget games. I can get accessories. I can bring my friends along. Man, I can get everything. Okay? Yes, I agree. Dr. Spencer, he's right. Today, oh my goodness. Today, that's $1,700. That's $1,700. All right? That's ridiculous. Okay? So definitely price was the death of the 3DO. And I did also put it lacked the quality games. It did. It lacked quality games. But, $700. I mean, who wants to make games for that? You know what I mean? And nobody's going to play it. Nobody's going to play it. So now that is why each console failed. Number one. Number two, and I told y'all, we get into it. I told you, get your popcorn. This is juicy. I told you, all valuable stuff. We got people putting in. This is valuable, good stuff. And once I finish, I want to bring in anyone who wants to come in. We're going to discuss any of the topics. I want to hear, what do you think is your best console? Now, I just want to say now, for on the record, if I had to pick a console, it would be a tough one for me. But there's 3. And the top 3 for me are Sega Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, and believe it or not, drum roll, Wii U. Okay. And Wii U may be my number 1. Believe it or not. Wii U would be my number 1. And Sega Dreamcast would probably come number 2, and then Sega Saturn. All right. So there go my list. I gave you my top 3. The bottom 3, Vita, Ouya 3DO. There you go. Now, number 2. What made each console special? This is a big thing because a lot of people want to say like, oh, the console was special because, the Wii U had a screen. Okay, well, maybe that's one thing. The Dreamcast had a controller that was iconic and football game that had Madden go to the NFL saying, please let us sign, please. Right? Maybe. But I took down some good notes, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm on a roll today, man. I was on one. I'm like, yo, I'm going through. I played these systems too. All right. So, Sega Dreamcast, y'all already know what I'm about to say. Visual memory unit. Yes. I'm sorry. Still to this day, nothing to me has. The Wii controllers for the Wii are very innovative. I must say that is probably number 1 in innovation for me. But runner-up is the visual memory unit for the Sega Dreamcast. It's so underrated. It was a memory card that saved your games, which, by the way, every console had memory cards at this time. But you didn't get enough out your memory cards. And there were things being done, right? I remember Sony doing things like putting characters, like logos and things when you save your games. When you look at your game saves, that is nice. Oh my gosh. Like, the visual memory unit allowed you to be able to pick plays in Madden without your opponent seeing. So you could look down and pick your play. You didn't even have to look at the screen. Beautiful. You could be reminded of certain things. Now, they didn't make a great use of it, I will say that, but Madden alone was enough for me. But they did do some other things. The beautiful thing is when you take it out, you could also take that with you and you could go ahead and do whatever. You could take it and play it. You could take it to your homies, join, plug it in. You got your saves. Maybe you got a pet that you're taking care of. Oh, let me feed my pet real quick. You in class, feed my pet. Visual memory unit. It was a walking Tamagotchi / memory card. And y'all know how hot Tamagotchi was back then. Sega, kudos. Beautiful, beautiful job. Okay, beautiful. Now that's just for me. Okay, I can go into other things, but that VMU set the tone. Okay. Next thing is arcade game ports. It had some of the best arcade game ports. Great games too. They played smooth. Who remembers Power Stone? Oh my gosh. Power Stone, such a beautiful game. Sports games played beautiful. The 2K series took off on Dreamcast. I remember every hood. I was in some ghetto areas at the time. I ain't gonna lie. And every hood dude had it in there, man. Get on the 2K. You know what I mean? And they look so real back then. It looked way better than Madden. And Madden had the, where the AI was supposed to be a lot more sophisticated, but at the time people didn't care. It was gameplay. All right. But also Jet Set Radio. Like, do we got to say anything else? Jet Set Radio. These arcade ports were amazing, man. Okay. So let's move on. Vita. Oh man, where do I start? It's a lot of things with the Vita I could say, but I can't play favoritism. Okay. I can't play favoritism. Vita, I'm gonna say I got graphics. Vita looks beautiful. It still looks beautiful to this day. Has anybody held a Vita and a Nintendo Switch? Hold them together. Hold them together. You'll be surprised, bro. You will be surprised at how beautiful that Vita looks right next to the Nintendo Switch. You'll be surprised. The Vita looks amazing. Still today. How is that? Sony, you nailed it. Kudos to you. Beautiful. So, and it's a portable device. May I mention that? For those who don't know, it's a portable device. Just beautiful. Also very innovative as well. I have here the rear touchpad. Okay, so you got this beautiful look, and the rear touchpad was something that When I touched, I said, yo, oh my God, this is nice. And it's being used in gameplay mechanics. Let's move on, man. The Vita also, I could say Vita for homebrew is probably one of the best in this list with Wii U. But Vita having the portability kind of takes the Wii U out. That's the only thing I will say that would take the Wii U out. If you got a huge memory card, okay, which by the way, they're probably selling cheap now because nobody wants them. But if you have a huge memory card and you load it up with games, you're good to go. And I'm sure there's a way to play your games via the cloud and a lot of things if you're using homebrew, right? Wii U, all right? Very innovative as well. Notice how all these consoles, one of the things I'm mentioning is innovation. I think innovation is what makes a console iconic. Notice the best failed console don't have Philips CDI on here, right? We don't have that. We don't have Atari Jaguar. We don't have Atari Lynx because those are not best failed consoles. Those consoles did not provide the innovation that we needed. Wii U did. It introduced the concept of a second screen. It was one of the first times I thought about, like, I could be playing on this screen and everybody else looking at this screen. I'm looking at something that nobody else is looking at, right? So if I'm playing Mario Party and I'm 1 versus 3, I have a view that no one else has. That is a beautiful thing. It introduced the second screen with the gamepad. Yo, that's dope. I'm sorry, that's dope. And none of these systems I named, by the way, this one was backwards compatible. Yes, Wii games did work with the Wii U. It had a Wii side, a whole nother Wii. It pretty much lets you play Wii. Shout out to kudos to Nintendo. Kudos. All right. Now, let's move on. So, Ouya. Innovation again. This was at a time where people were playing mobile games, but they didn't have the devices strong enough or their screens weren't big enough. They didn't want to pay all these, high amounts of money for big screens. So Ouya was going to be the middle ground for that. For those people who love their mobile games, but now they can play them on a TV and you could be able to use a controller and enjoy your games. Okay. I think the biggest thing for this, and this is something that I actually just thought about, not in my notes here, because really the biggest thing I put is innovation, bringing the mobile games to the TV, but indie games. A lot of people do not know Ouya has thousands of indie games. The indie market flourished for the Ouya. There were a lot of developers who love making things for the Ouya because it's open source. You're able to anybody, you could learn, hey, I'm a brand new developer in school. I'm developing, but I want to learn something. Let me try the Ouya and make an Ouya game. Maybe someone can play my game. This is something that I think would be wonderful if we could have open source for more consoles like that, where you just build games, you just do whatever you want to do. And I think it was beautiful for the Ouya to do that and the indie market flourish. So that's a big one for the Ouya. Okay. Sega Saturn, I already said a lot of things, man, because I love Sega Saturn, but strong arcade ports. Okay, them arcade ports, right? Virtual Fighter, done. We ain't got to say nothing else. Virtual Fighter, well, oh my God, it looks so beautiful. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, took a while, but we got it, okay? And when we got it, yes, beautiful, okay? Arcade ports. It also went with the CD format at the time. There was a decision between CD and cartridge based because I think they were Nintendo 64. It was another console, but cartridge and CD was a big fight at this time. And Sega Saturn made a smart decision with going with CD because that seemed to take on the market from then on. So that was another thing. But great games. Okay, it did have some great games. All right, it might have been a small list, but it has some great games. I got here Panzer Dragoon. Okay, for those who don't remember, Panzer Dragoon is classic. Okay, classic. And I said Knights. If you don't like Knights, then forget you. I like Knights. Okay, and I'm a dude. All right. I like Knights. I love the beautiful lights and going through it. Suit my mind. I'm the type of dude that listen to jazz and play solitaire. So Knights, okay, but Sega Saturn. That is why excellent arcade ports. I mean, and when we say arcade ports, I'm not just talking like, oh, it almost got it close. No, we talking arcade perfect. Like these things was perfect arcade. And I'm gonna go even further. Let me do you a step further. They were not just perfect arcade ports, they had additionals. So think of an arcade port with now unlockable characters, arcade ports with now more modes, arcade ports with so many stages, customizable characters. We're talking beautiful. Oh, Sega Saturn, love you. Okay, now Panasonic 3DO. I'ma say, for me, you know, some people say, what is the big thing with 3DO? Why is it the best failed console? Like, to me, it was close. Like, this could have been replaced with some of those other consoles that I mentioned failed before. What separates it is a couple different things. For me, notice I mentioned innovation for all these consoles except Sega Saturn. Even though it went with the CD format, I still believe the innovation. It was other consoles, there was other things going on with CDs at the time. They knew it was coming. They decided to go with CD. I don't think that was really innovative. It was, you know, brave, might have been a risk, but I don't think innovative. I do think Panasonic 3DO, and quote me if I'm wrong, all right? Correct me if I'm wrong, excuse me, all right? But I think it's the first console I wrote here that used CD-ROMs. I think it's the first video game console. May have been others, but the first one I know that used CD-ROMs. So CD-ROMs, we know what happened with that. That is where everything went. It was the first system that went there, which, by the way, more storage, better audio, just so much faster. I think it was, I won't say faster load times, because I do believe the cartridges had faster load times at the time. But they had one other thing that I could say that separates them and was also very innovative. Panasonic 3DO was one of the consoles that actually licensed out who made their hardware. And let me make sure I did. Yeah, okay, because I did put license. I had to check license because I thought they just had other people make it, but no, Panasonic 3DO. So Panasonic actually got other people to make the hardware. So that's like, hey, if I called up Sony, yo, Sony, could you make me a couple 3DOs? Could I, call up these people? Could you make me a couple 3DOs? Could you make me a couple 3DOs? And they do it, right? That's what they did. So that's another one. Bam. Yo, we killing it, man. And these is gonna be quick. I'm gonna go through these because I do want to bring people on. But I know we tuning in, and those listening in right now, I see y'all. It's hot. Everybody's listening in. I'm gonna keep it. We on to the next. Everything is spot on right now. Tell me if I'm wrong on something. Let me know. Correct me. All right. Dr. Specimen said he calculated the 3DO today would be priced $1,473. Dang, I said $1,700. I was pretty close. Like, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. So I'm gonna take a sip. Okay. So, what are the top 10 selling games for each console? Now, this was pretty difficult because I could have grabbed all this data, but I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was running short on time. Had to get to the show. But what I did get was iconic games, right? For each console. So y'all let me know if these games, which console do you think had the better lineup of games? That's what I want to know. Which one had the better lineup of games? Sega Dreamcast, Sonic Adventure, Crazy Taxi, Soul Calibur, Resident Evil Code Veronica, Shenmue. All right. I didn't put any sports titles in there, but Sega Dreamcast, we got Sonic Adventure, Crazy Taxi, Soul Calibur, Resident Evil Code Veronica, and Shenmue. That's a nice 5. That's a nice 5 I've written down. Now, somebody said Skies of Arcadia before or something else. I know I'd be dissing some. My bad. But That's the 5 I got. PlayStation Vita, 5 games. Uncharted Golden Abyss, Persona 4 Golden, Killzone Mercenary, Gravity Rush, Final Fantasy. Now, that's a Persona 4 Golden. But I will say Sega Dreamcast, I would go with the Dreamcast list right now over that. That's just me. But to repeat again, PlayStation Vita, Uncharted Golden Abyss, Persona 4 Golden, Killzone Mercenary, Gravity Rush, Final Fantasy. All right. I see my man Frank. Frank said Dreamcast for best games. I'm with you right now, Frank. I'm with you. Okay. I think Dreamcast. So, and for Final Fantasy, I mean, that's Final Fantasy. I don't have it written down. X/X2 remaster. I don't know. One of those. X/X2 HD remaster, something like that. But it's one of those Final Fantasies. All right. Wii U. Ooh, it's going to be tough. I don't want to see the Dreamcast because right now I got the Dreamcast right on the list. But let's see. Wii U. Swallow. Nintendo is always hard to beat, man. Mario Kart 8. Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U. Super Mario 3D World. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Splatoon. Yo, hold up. Let me repeat that. Nintendo Wii U, 5 games I have listed. Mario Kart 8. Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U. Super Mario 3D World. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Splatoon. Yo, every one of them hits, bro. Every one of them hits. Now, if I got to choose between the list, I'm not going to lie. I'm going Wii U. I'm turning over. I got to turn over on down. Dreamcast, I ain't got Power Stone, so I ain't got no. Where my good multiplayers at besides Soul Calibur? Like Nintendo Wii U, I got it all. All right, I got my multiplayers. I got my single player. I got my Okay. So Ouya. Now Ouya, I told you I played a lot of indie titles, so I didn't have much. Okay. But the 2 games that I heard were big games, I did not play them, was Towerfall and Final Fantasy 3. I heard these were big games on the Ouya, but Ouya has thousands of indie games that you can just download and play. Like, that's beautiful. You can just go grab them. Bro, they're free. They're free. Like, just go out there and download them and play them. Like, how much better can you get? Like, just go download any of the games, play them. Some of them you might feel like are your best games, but Towerfall and Final Fantasy 3 are 2 I have for Ouya. Okay. Here we go. Sega Saturn. Now, here we go, baby. Come on, Sega Saturn. Don't let me down. All right, let me take a sip. Sega Saturn. Virtua Fighter 2. Nights into Dreams. Panzer Dragoon Saga. Sega Rally Championship. Daytona, USA. Let me repeat the list for those who did not hear me. Sega Saturn list that I have here. Virtua Fighter 2. Nights into Dreams. Panzer Dragoon Saga. Sega Rally Championship. Daytona, USA. Oh, man. That's a... now, one thing I'm going to say about that list, Virtua Fighter 2. Bam, arcade. Nights into Dreams. I told you nights, okay? Panzer Dragoon, beautiful. Sega Rally Championship, another arcade classic. Daytona USA, another arcade classic. Yo, they were hitting with the arcades. Now, this is what's going to catch a lot of people off guard. 3DO didn't have a lot of games, but I'm about to name some that's going to probably change your mind about how you feel with Panasonic 3DO. The list of games I have here for Panasonic 3DO. Gex. Road Rash. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Need for Speed. Myst. That's a nice list, yo. That's a nice list. One more time. Panasonic 3DO games. Gex. Road Rash. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Need for Speed. Myst. Every single one of those that I named in that list are hits, are classics. Gex, for those who don't know, Gex is still gaming culture. Okay, so Gex has been around. Road Rash, we all know what Road Rash did. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and you're talking about playing with high quality graphics and audio, by the way. Need for Speed? Do y'all know what Need for Speed was back then? I don't think y'all know. Need for Speed was everything back then. And Myst. Yo, Myst is so iconic, they remade it. It is beautiful. It was storytelling before people really knew how to storytell. That's a crazy list, yo. I'm not going to lie. If I have to rank the list, I'm going first Wii U, right? Wii U first. My second would... This is crazy to say for me. Oh, dang, this is tough, man. My second, I'm going to go with Sega Dreamcast, right? That's tough. And the reason I'm going Sega Dreamcast because the overlapping games, the way things are, right? But the next I would go Panasonic 3DO. Then I would go Sega Saturn. Then I would go Vita. Then I go Ouya. You know what I mean? So bingo. There we go. Top games, right? I told y'all, yo, didn't I say get the popcorn? Now, this is the last one right here. And I have my notes. I'm gonna go over these quick. These ain't nothing but notes I had on top of my notes. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm so flaming today. I didn't even have to refer to my notes, yo. Like I'm on it. I don't know what's going on. Another sip. Now, so these are just quick ones. And then we're gonna let in a couple people to talk, want to come in. But these are just some ones I want to preference out there so people know. Okay, or reference. I don't know. I'm already sipping too much hard iced tea. Okay. So, what is the lifespan of each console? A lot of people want to know what is the lifespan. I think this has a lot to do with also why it would be a best failed console, right? I think a best failed console should be able to last. That's just something that I think. If you're a best failed console, now you would think, oh, timing and things. Yeah, I agree. But if you're the best failed console, you could have probably persevered through some of that. Don't you agree? All right. So lifespan of each console. Let's start with Sega Dreamcast. Sega Dreamcast lifespan. It was released in November of 98. They stopped making them on March 2001. Yes, 3 years, pretty much. If 3 years, you know what I'm saying? Ain't much time. But Dreamcast went from 98 to 2001. And for those who do not know, that was actually like pretty much from freshman year to senior year for me. So high school was love. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? High school was love. Dreamcast popping, baby. Oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, let me chill out. All right. So, PlayStation Vita, December of 2011 to March of 2019. That is a nice long lifespan. And I will add a caveat on top of that. It is probably the most played console today out of all of these. That would be my assumption. Nintendo Wii U, November 2012 to January of 2017. Okay, not bad. Wii U still persevered. Okay, we see PlayStation Vita. They was doing it. They was still persevering too. Ouya, June 2013 to June of 2015. Oh, y'all, man, no. Sorry, y'all. That ain't good. That ain't good, man. Ouya bowed out fast, but you know, it's it's business, man. If you got to bow out and take what you can, you do it. But shout out to Ouya because you made the list. So congratulations. But 2 years. Ugh. Sega Saturn, November of 94 to December of 2000. That's pretty much 6 years. Sega Saturn, and you were battling. So I'm gonna give Saturn credit. Even if Saturn would have went 3 years, 4 years, I would have gave it credit because you were battling, sir. Sony was out there. Sony was spanking. At this time, Nintendo, Sony, oh man, it was a battle. Okay, it was a battle. So let's do the last but not least. Panasonic 3DO went from October of 93 to December of 96. 3 years. Okay, that's about 3 years. All right, so out of all the systems, the shortest one was Ouya, which lasted 2 years. But we got a couple systems that was in a 3-year span. We got Sega Dreamcast 3-year span, and we also got Panasonic 3DO that was in a 3-year span. So those systems were 3 years or under. So out of that one, I would say PlayStation Vita kind of dominated that one. All right, so there we go. I see my man BB. BB, what's going on? Good to have you tuned in, man. We going over this juicy stuff, man. It's a good debate. I need everybody to give me their opinions, and I want to know how you feel about these things, right? So, which console is the most popular now? I told you guys already, PlayStation Vita. I didn't even have to look at my notes. I think PlayStation Vita is the most popular out of all of these because of its portability, and retro gaming is very big right now. So a lot of people are modding their PlayStation Vitas and taking them somewhere else. Okay. So I would say PlayStation Vita, most popular right now. And I got BB in the comments said he still loves his Atari Lynx. Oh man, I ain't gonna lie, man. It's classic. It's classic, man. Atari Lynx. And that screen was kind of big. And I think was Atari Lynx 64-bit? No, it was 32-bit graphics, but I think it was on the handheld at the time. That was a big deal. And I believe it had some of the fighting games that were like arcade ports. I believe it had that on Atari Lynx. So shout out Atari Lynx. You know what I mean? Didn't make the list though. Did not make the list. Panasonic 3DO was the last one. I don't know if you see it. Panasonic 3DO. Okay. And we could swap some of these, to be honest. Which console is the best for emulators and homebrew? This is debatable for all my people who love to mod consoles and play their retro games and play other things on it. But nonetheless, for those people, it's a toughie. I would have to say PlayStation Vita though, because portability. I think portability makes it just put the icing on the cake. One thing I will say with the Wii U is I've seen people run certain arcade ports. Like there's a Mario Racing that was in the arcade that I've seen someone play on the Wii U that you could not play on the Vita. There were a lot of things that I've seen play on the Wii U that should not have been playing. Like, I'm like, how did you get that? How does that even play? And they're like, man, look, it's the arcade. You can hook up controllers. You can hook up, so it has a lot that I think goes, a little underrated. But PlayStation Vita, the portability, and these emulators run nice, and you got all your ROMs and everything right there. So PlayStation Vita, it is. Now, I'm going to get ready to bring in Dr. Specimen, but one moment, just as I go through my notes, I just want to see if there's anything I left out here. Okay, so there's a couple things that I'm going to quickly mention. So, I wanted to know, these are a couple things that I researched. What was Sony's reason for going with the proprietary memory card? Wondered that. There was no reason. Couldn't find anything. But the guess is that they probably tried to, somehow lock down the hardware market, or maybe they figure, hey, our memory cards are better. Other people will want to start using them, start making, that kind of thing. Didn't work out for them. Okay. Nintendo went with the Wii U to signify the console was for you, which was very bad because Wii and then Wii U sounds like a second U, like Wii, but they wanted the U to mean you. Bad. Okay, that was another one I didn't mention. Also the industry for the Ouya was dominated by everybody else at the time. So that's why you weren't seeing a lot of first-party games for the Ouya. It was just a lot of people found the benefit of other places to go first. Okay. Next, Ouya, I put was like a mid-range smartphone. All right. I'm gonna get you. It wasn't tough at all. Wasn't no big boy. All right. Wasn't no Nvidia Shield. Stop that. Okay. Next. So, the early release for Sega Saturn. Sega unexpectedly launched the Saturn at the first E3 event in May of 1995, and this was months before its planned release. Okay. Anything else I got? No, they had Panasonic 3DO. They used companies like Sanyo, Gold Star. Panasonic also made their consoles. So there were other systems that were, or other makers, I would say, that they used, and those are some of them. Of course, Vita had the longest lifespan, and Ouya had the shortest. You know, that was something else I took there. I don't think I got nothing else. That was kind of all my notes. And yes, sir, PS Vita, I see that. Wii U for the home, Vita if you want portable. And Frank Gonzalez said they were selling the Vita at a loss, so they thought they make it up in memory card sales. Now, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my man, Dr. Specimen, so we could discuss some of these topics. Let's bring him in. All right. Oh, my goodness. Wii U. Oh.
And this is why it's the best. I'm sorry to my Vita lovers, and I'm sorry to my Dreamcast lovers, but this is why it's the best right here. We love Aroma, baby. How's it going, Nick?
Man, it's going good, man. That loaded up straight to it, man. Quick. You didn't wait. It just bam. Pop, you pick, and you at it, man. That's it. You already ready to go. You can do everything.
You know, everyone knows the homebrew launcher. Everyone knows the homebrew channel. But with Aroma, you don't even need.
I'm breaking up, but yo, you ain't lying. I can see your screen. Look at that.
You got all your homebrew on the home screen now. You don't even need a homebrew launcher anymore. It's just right on your home
screen. He ain't lying, y'all. For those who know. One thing that we love to do is the least amount of steps we can do, the better. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
Also, you can run. You can also run leaked SDK software on it if you want.
That's something else. See, you naming a couple things. I'm telling you, the Wii U's a sleeper, man. It's a sleeper. Like I said, I've owned my Wii U for a long time, and I love it. But go ahead, let's talk. Let's hear some of your topic. What do you feel about some of the things I said? Let's hear some of these takes from Dr. Special.
So, I obviously, as a lot of people know, I'm young, and I wasn't here for the Dreamcast. But I fucking love it. I love the Dreamcast, dude. And I would put the Dreamcast at a very, very, very easy second place overall. I think the Wii U beats it out because of homebrew. But for game library, number one. Number one for its own game library. It beats out the Wii U, in my opinion, because, and this is a little unfair, but everything that the Wii U has going for it, you can play on the Switch. So why bother?
That's true. Yeah.
I will say though, the Wii U, if you go to homebrew, but not emulation, I'm saying this very specifically, is the best video game console ever at all for its library, because it officially, natively can play your Wii U games, your Wii games, and your GameCube games. Yeah. You have to mod your console for the GameCube games, but you're playing with the actual hardware. It's not emulation. It is actually clocking the SysCube and running as a GameCube. And if you use forwarders, you can use your gamepad as a controller.
We ain't lying. You talking right now. You preaching them some hard facts. Everyone you just said is a fact about the Wii U, and a lot of people don't know. Oh, man. You're right. Those games are running on the hardware, and they play. I might as well. If you're playing a Wii game on the Wii U, you might as well say you're playing it on the Wii, right? Like, it's not like... It's literally the same.
Well, and what's really cool is that so for a couple things. Number one, ignoring the Mario 3D collection because I don't know what they did for that, but I swear I tried to get Mario Sunshine to emulate on the Switch and I couldn't do it. It totally could have been my fault, and it probably was my fault. I wasn't setting something up correctly, and this was years ago. I tried it because the 3D collection's out, but I couldn't get it to run. No problems on the Wii U because there's no anything. It's just running like a GameCube. There's nothing to stop you besides like slight input lag from using a digital television, I guess. But what I will say though is that I think that the Vita has, from a homebrew perspective, if you want a portable console to run homebrew on, get the Vita. Don't even bother getting a 3DS because that's kind of annoying at this point. Get a Vita because yes, you need to buy an adapter, but it's got the OLED screen. It's got the good luck using it, but I guess sure it's got 3G connectivity if you want to fuck with that. And it's got some of the best homebrew support of any console because it's one of the best consoles to homebrew. Even the 3DS, it's like, as far as I'm aware, it's a way more underpowered compared to the Vita, number one. But number two, the Vita also didn't just have all of its fucking exploits patched. Thanks, Nintendo.
True.
But for Vita, right, all you need to mod a Vita is buy a micro SD to Vita card adapter. I don't even know. I think it had a name, but and you're good. I don't know if it's got file system limitations, but theoretically, spend that same fucking $20 that you would have spent on a 4 gig Vita card, and you can get $20 flat, get to the micro SD card. If $20 literally your budget, then drop it like $5 or whatever, get a 128 card, and then get the Vita adapter. And you've got one of the best mobile consoles to mod, and then you open up to a fuck ton of emulation that you can do on it, and you've got a really good OLED screen, which granted it's old OLED, so I don't know what burn-in's like on that, but
I don't know either. Because I haven't used it long enough to get any burn-in, and then I wind up. I don't know what happened. I probably lost it. It was a long time ago. I don't know, but I just remember it was probably the best screen I've looked at.
And one funny thing too, and this is the thing I just realized, and I like lost my train of thought earlier, but I just remembered. You had mentioned that, hey, if you're playing a game on the Wii side of the Wii U, you might as well just say you're playing it on the Wii because it's no different. And someone might come up to you and say, well, the problem is you don't have all the cool Wii Connect channels like the Forecast channel, and hell, you can't even use the Wii settings. Nope, that's not even a problem now. I mean, Reconnect's been a thing for years, and you can get the Forecast channel and all that back. But there's you remember the preloader? The brick protection.
Oh yeah,
they got that ported to the Wii U now. You can now install preloader. It's still in a sort of beta, but other than this, there's this really weird glitch where if you have preloader installed, USB loader GX, everything is stretched out and it like all the textures go ape shit. I don't know if that's been fixed, but there's like some things where like you turn the console on and it'll black screen and whatnot, but you're willing to deal with a couple hiccups. You can install
Loader GX. I haven't heard that name in so long, man.
I use WiiFlow now because it can run off SD cards. But that's the other thing too, right? Is for a Wii U, all you need is an SD card, which for most people that owned a Wii, because I got a Wii U when it was relevant, and most of us own an SD card because we wanted to transfer our Wii stuff over to our Wii U. So we own an SD card anyways. But even if you don't, think about it. You buy a micro SD card, 256 gigs, use the SD adapter, and then you can take that out, throw it into your Vita card adapter, and homebrew your Vita, take that out, and put it into your modded OLED Switch.
So you talking. That's too much. They ain't ready for that.
And then you've got the world's simplest browser exploit for it, right? You get a simple browser exploit that takes into your first homebrew. You get the environment loader loaded into your health and safety app, which can never be accidentally removed, modified, or uninstalled. So there's absolutely zero brick risk beyond whatever brick risk might exist by your NAND exploding, I guess. And then you can theme your Wii U. You can pull whatever data you might need off of it. You can install whatever game you might want. You can play whatever homebrew games. You can play Doom. You can emulate pretty much any console, which it's hilarious that the Wii U can play the most amount of Nintendo games of any console ever created, because the Switch can't. The Switch can't emulate the Wii U, right? So fine, you can't play Switch games on your Wii U, but you can play your Wii U games, of course. You can play your Wii games and your GameCube games natively. Anything older than that is weak enough that it'll run just fine emulated.
Yep. No, you're totally right.
Not to mention
all my games.
And not to mention it being perfectly backwards compatible with, besides a couple like really weird low level tools, and also like Wii U themes don't work on the VWii. It's really weird, but a lot of this has been fixed. Pretty much 90% of Wii homebrew is also backwards compatible on the Wii U, and the 10% either has been ported and has been made to work. There's workarounds, or you can't use it. Like Boot Me. Boot Me doesn't work, but it's irrelevant, because if you were to... it's actually even more unbrickable out of the box, because if you brick the Wii side, you can unbrick it from your Wii U side. Even if you were to go in and delete every single file of the Wii, you can always restore it. And if you don't have your backup, you're going to lose your save data, but you can recreate your system.
Yep. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm not going to lie. It's one of my favorites out of the list. And it's sad that it failed, man. What do you think was the biggest thing for its failure?
It was the marketing. The marketing only appealed to people like me at the time. I was, God, how old was I? I was 6, I think. No, 7. I think it was 7 when the Wii U came out, and the advertising was great for me at the time. But my parents only got me it because I was the diehard Wii user of the home. My brother had an Xbox. My sister didn't play video games, and so I was a diehard Wii user, and I was probably more connected to the internet than I should have been at the time, and so I saw a lot of stuff about the Wii U, and I really wanted one, so we got one. But for the average kid who maybe they didn't own a home console, maybe they got the Wii for Wii Sports and maybe Mario Kart, but nothing else really. Maybe they had a WiiWare game or two. For that family, where the kid mainly played either on a DS or played like on the family, the brother's Xbox or whatever, they wouldn't have given a shit. They fucked up the marketing. They fucked up with. See, my thing though is I didn't find the naming too confusing. Now that's coming from me, right? A regular person.
I'm gonna be serious.
The way I kind of heard it, I almost kind of heard it as Wii 2. Like, okay, fine.
Same thing with me. And then I looked at it. I'm like, oh yeah, you could tell.
Like it's worked for PlayStation. I mean, they've done PS1 through 5 for their entire life. So why would Wii 2 be a problem?
Yeah.
Other than people have expectations, and I mean, you sell 100 million units, and you're 100% going to be going out of the the gamerscape. I guess that's not a word, but
man, it flew out the door. So I'm not gonna lie, they had a lot to live up to.
I also looked it up. I find it hilarious that, at least according to Wikipedia's list, the worst selling game console universally is the Oculus Quest 1, which I then looked into and found that the Oculus Quest 2 has sold more than the Wii U.
Wow, I own one. Yay, I did it. I helped the number. Yay. Well, actually,
and let me take a look again, because I think the Quest 2 has sold more than the Xbox Series X or S as of now. It has sold more than the Wii U, the PS Vita. It has sold more than the Sega Saturn and the Dreamcast.
Wow. I didn't think that many people had it. I don't know anybody.
What's the count of that? Around 20 million.
I was going to say, you have one. I have one, so I know somebody.
It's showing around 20 million sales for the Quest 2.
Yo, oh my God, I was underrating the Quest, man. I was underrating. And then my man BB is here too. I'm gonna bring him here, but go ahead.
Now,
what's that?
I don't think the original
You breaking up? Yeah, you breaking up. It sounds like the top block is dropping. Oh, let me bring BB. Yo,
Come
Dr.
on.
Specimen, it sounds like you pop, lock, and dropping. We can't. Is it me? Is it me skipping? Y'all, can y'all
No,
see?
it's
Is
me.
it on my end? Dr.
Am I better
Specimen,
now?
you breaking up. Yeah, you way better now.
Okay. Sorry, I moved locations. I'm in very bad
Okay. I ain't know. If it was
connection
me.
right now.
No, you good.
So, the original Quest, right? It was meant to be a supplementary device for people who didn't have access to a PC that could do VR, right? It was just meant to be like, hey, if you want the crappier experience, but you really want to try Beat Saber, here's a device for you. So I kind of consider that, the Quest
It's breaking up again. Oh, stop. Come on. You was good.
Damn it.
Good. It started breaking up again. All right.
Is it better now?
Yeah, you was good. And you was
Okay,
going.
let me get this out quickly before I break up again. We're selling console minus the original Quest, Atari 5200.
Yeah. Yo, you know what, man? A lot of people don't know about the Atari 5200, man. And it's sad because I was very young at the time. Like, I couldn't tell you the difference between any of the Ataris. When I was young, I was like, ooh, Atari. Ooh, they're shooting. But yeah, 5200, man, is one of those. Now, you know what? Do you think it should be put on this list? So we have 6 consoles on this list. Let me ask you this. Any of these consoles, do you think we could remove and put another as the best failed console?
I would take off. Honestly, I mean, look, I would take off. I think Wii U, Vita, and I'm going to be really honest.
Broke up. It broke up right after you said, I'm going to be completely honest. It broke up. There you go.
It just popped up. I think the Ouya is a fucking joke. Complete, utter joke.
Let's go. So, Dr. Specimen, now tell us why you feel as though the Ouya is a complete joke.
It was a cash grab. I think it was a total cash grab. All of the marketing for it read like they weren't advertisements for the console, but it was like a cry to investors for like, hey, look, we're the company we're the startup company that's decided to capitalize on this mobile gaming fad. So we made a device. Please give us money. Please invest in us. I beg of you. And that's what their ads felt like. Their ads felt like the most sorry fucking excuse for just, please give us money. And then you get to the games that were available, and sure, you could throw RetroArch on it. You could emulate some games on there. There is a couple of like the few good Android games that exist that you could play on it. But in the end, it was a fucking crappy tablet that they soldered an HDMI port to. I really do. And the controller was garbage. Like, sure, it had Bluetooth, so you could connect a PlayStation controller, but the fucking controller was half the price of the console and was built like a fucking toy. I mean, I really hate the Ouya.
Magnus, appreciate you, Magnus, tuning in, man. But yo, you are absolutely. I'm gonna say, spot on with a lot, man. The Ouya.
I mean, shit. The thing was good for. Buy a fucking Amazon Fire Stick. I mean, yeah, you might not be able to not be able to existed at the time. I think it did though. You can Amazon Fire Stick. Probably. Am I breaking up?
Yeah, you breaking up. There you go. You good now.
You could buy an Amazon Fire Stick for half the price at the time and get all the media you'd ever want and like a couple games, nowhere near as much as the Ouya had, sure, but like the good games that you could get on a Fire Stick, and you'd be good. Like, that's all you need. You don't need to spend $100 for a shitty controller and a box that lost support after 2 years. Like, And now you can get these things for a dime a dozen, with half of them having malware on them.
Yeah, you're right. They loading them things up, waiting for you to plug it up to the internet.
Now, so
Nah, bro. You breaking up. You breaking up again. There go BB.
You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, BB, we hear you good. What's up, BB? How you doing?
Good. He glitching, putting that bullshit Wii U on the motherfucking screen. Putting all that bullshit in that fucking screen. Since he put that bullshit and showing the Wii U screen, he just started glitching.
Hey, what you said, that Wii U be glitching? It be glitching?
That Wii U fucked him up. Fucked up his whole service.
It's good now? Am I good now?
You said that Wii U fuck up the service. Yeah,
You turned that shit off. That's why you're good now. You turned that bitch off.
Yeah, he said that Wii U. So what you think? So out of those systems, BB, which one, man? Vita all the way?
My man, I'm telling you. Let me see. Hold on. You gotta give me a second.
Yeah, and stay like
You are-
that. Too. I like that. He good.
Come on, man, don't get mad because I look like a toilet paper over my head, right, man? I'm not on drugs. I'm on crack and heroin, right? So if you're going to assault, disrespect me, do it the right way, okay? Because if you want, I go back and I go in and up on you.
Oh, he killing. Let's go. I almost fell out my chair laughing. Oh, man. Woo, BB. He killed it with that, man. Where he go, man? It's breaking up. I hear you some, Dr. Specimen. You coming in a little bit, and it's like I just say Hey, BB said it's that Wii U. He says that. Yo, he's so dumb, man. And by the way, Magnus said best console hat is the NVIDIA Shield TV. All right, now.
Listen, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm telling you this right now, baby.
What's that?
This is the shit.
Ooh,
brand new in the box, baby.
In the box.
Look, I'm gonna magic.
Ooh, look at
magic.
that. Ooh, wee.
Remember,
so that's the real deal.
J&L, baby.
Oh, and the receipt in there. Don't play with him. The receipt in there.
This
Mario,
is what you talking about.
On deck.
You had the regular SD PSP Vita, then you used that micro SD card.
Look at him.
Fuck yeah.
Look at him. He know what to do.
Oh, look at that. Right here. Look. Oh, let's go. Open it. I don't like putting fingerprints on
Am I audible now? It finally just gave up and booted me in.
Yeah, it did.
Right there, baby. There it is.
Oh, snap.
Fuck yes.
That's a lifetime of gaming.
Got all the homebrew on there, baby?
I got a point. I mean, yeah, I think so.
What?
He got.
Run that by me again?
Look at that, baby. Look at with the protective screen, the clear cover. Look at pretty.
Good,
no scratch.
man.
Look, no scratch. No scratch. Look at
He ain't lying. That thing ain't got a scratch or smudge or nothing. Oh, that look gorgeous, man. And yo, that
look, rip that ass. Weepy. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to Nick Monster. Look at that. Look. Oh shit. Look, Nick.
Oh, that's fire. That is fire. Oh, snap.
Are you gonna broadcast this Sunday? I got a surprise. It's gonna be real good.
I'm definitely going. So you know, I was
Hey, Nick,
to go live last Sunday. I just got.
I've come up with my console to replace the Ouya.
All right, now what console you got to replace the Ouya, man?
Sega Master System.
Look at unlock all the achievements. Unlock all the achievements on the PSP.
Now the Sega Master System. It's a little unfair because that's a console that, right, your first console, it's not going to sell great. Of course it's not. That's completely fair. But that's the whole reason that the Genesis exists. It's the whole reason that Sega as a company exists in the way it does today. And as much as I got some beef with Sega from some of the decisions they make, and I'm really not that big of a Sonic fan, I respect the hell out of them and the way that they treat their customers in terms of not being assholes with the DMCA. So I'd say I wouldn't call it a failed console because it wasn't, especially because it did sell a couple, it sold around what the Wii U sold. For being Sega's first console back in the 80s, that's not half bad. So maybe it's not appropriate for the list, but I mean, shit, it's you ask a random person, hey, you ever heard of the Sega Master System? And they're like, what, is that like a console they made? I mean, I heard of the Genesis.
Now, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I think you're right. I think that's a damn great replacement. It was innovative too, because it was one of the first game systems I remember you could play a game without having a game in it. It had a built-in game.
The Saturn,
the Vita, you had the PKG. The Wii U don't have that. You can have the shop right now and click it and download PSP games.
Actually, you do have that on the Wii U. Believe it or not. Want me to show you?
They got the shop.
Hold on. Let me grab the gamepad real quick.
Look, he about to show you, BB. You hate on that Wii U, BB. About to show you a shop.
I'm about to defend my title.
I just gotta say he's gonna glitch. He's gonna motherfucking glitch. That's what is gonna happen. He's gonna glitch right now. You see, look, he's glitching already. Look at, he's frozen. Look at that shit. He froze.
I'm that Wii U froze.
Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Still taking forever loading. 2 hours later.
He up. There you go, BB.
Yeah, look, he's glitching. Look, he's out. He burned. That shit's over for him.
Yo, why you saying something?
Game over.
Why you a hater? Why you gotta be a hater, BB?
I'm not a hater. I got the Wii U too. I love Nintendo.
All right, this right here, this is what, now it doesn't look great because this camera's fucking ass on the fold, but this is called Nutsplay, and we use this to download.
Nuts. This is what, like you want to download Nuts Play on that bitch.
He got some games.
You want any Wii U game, any and all Wii U game. You got all the Wii U games on here, all of them.
That's it.
I'm scrolling.
It's only 200 and something, 80 something games on the Wii U. No more than that.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. But you still got all of them. You got every single one of them right here, and it downloads right from Nintendo servers. So you ain't got a middleman you got to worry about.
But guess what? You can remote play on this PS5 on it.
That remote play.
Can you remote play your entire PC on this? Because you sure as hell can on here.
He got a point. You can use your finger. Use your finger and tap. You might be you might be right. Y'all got some points, man. These two, I ain't gonna lie, man. That's a little toughie.
Don't get me wrong. I love the Wii U, but it wasn't the best shit ever. I like the regular
I don't pretend like it's the best shit ever. That goes to the Switch.
The regular Wii is better than the Wii U.
Luckily you got one. Luckily you got one of those right in here, and you don't need your TV to play said Wii.
You know what? I will agree to Switch. When it comes to the mod.
I forgot to mention that. I forgot to mention too. You don't even technically need a sensor bar on the Wii U because the gamepad has one built in.
Damn, you know what? And that's one thing I did hate, that sensor bar, man. I hate that sensor bar.
This one has it in the front and in the back too. You can tap it and you can give it to both ways, front and back.
And here, if you don't want to pirate your games, here's your homebrew app store.
But you got the homebrew. See, you got the homebrew. I have the one that I install a game, and then if you delete the game, you break the whole system because the firmware on it is 9999999. So I didn't have to worry about no updates because I did it a different Explorer. You guys do it the homebrew way, and then you can do it from a game that you download from the eShop, and then you can convert the game itself to a homebrew, and then the firmware will be 999999999.
Yeah, you right. Yeah, my phone went 999999999.
Am I wrong? I'm not lying, right? I mean,
Nah,
it
you ain't
is.
lying. Nah, you
See,
ain't gotta worry
but
about
that's the
none of
thing
that.
about the Wii U, though. That's what's really nice about the Wii U, is especially with how they do homebrew now. You're basically never. Could you never do that with your tongue again? You basically never have a risk of bricking your console ever. The only way you can do it is if you go in with FTP and start deleting shit you shouldn't be. No homebrew can brick your system
Listen,
at this
man.
point.
Just have fun with your motherfucking Switch, okay? With Wii U, man. I mean, there's no point playing with that shit anymore. For that, just get your fucking your Wii Switch, and you can do all that shit there. Taking that big ass motherfucking monitor, like a 13-inch TV in your motherfucking lap, playing that bitch.
Hey, yo, BB, out of them
You know
consoles,
what? How
out of
about
all
this? How about
six
this?
of them, yo.
Here's my
Oh,
counter
let's do
argument.
it.
Here's
All right,
my
I want to
final
hear the
counter
counter. I want
argument.
to hear the counter. Let's go.
My final counter argument is fuck all of these PC Master Race.
I was gonna say
Oh,
that. I was gonna say PC for life, fucking motherfucker.
yeah, PC outlasted all that shit, dude.
PC for life and strip bars for life. Yeah.
Yo, do you think Ouya was a cash grab, BB?
Man, oh yeah, I got that bitch, and then I opened it, and then I make, you know that Hellraiser, the movie?
Yeah,
You know how they had the little box and
yeah,
you do it? I did a
yeah. I just
convert.
opened it up.
I did one of the, and I put it in that. I put it in there because you're never gonna open that bitch. No matter what, you gonna get trapped and
See,
killed.
here's the thing. You want to play? You want to play some Ouya games? Here's what you do. Here's what you do. You go to your local Walmart. All right. You ask for their cell phone section. $50 gets you a cell phone. You got a cell phone, and then you can play your Ouya games on it natively.
Joe, my man, why you gotta do all that for? Just apply for Obama phone, and you can do it on that bitch too.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Phones now, man, you probably get a regular joint.
And you can put the and PS2 and fuck everything and put a play enjoy for the PS2.
Actually, you know what? No, actually, I actually was wrong. What you need to do, all right, you need to buy yourself. All right, so step one, RTX 4090. All right, then you got to get your i12 fucking 99999 KS BTCU, all right, and then maybe you have enough power to play your Ouya games. Because man, that thing was just a powerhouse, man. That thing was just
Yeah, there
that
you
was
go.
just the fucking cream of the crop, wasn't it?
Hell yeah, you
Microsoft
say
Flight
it.
Simulator, baby.
Say it
That's
like you
what
mean
I'm
it,
talking
baby.
about.
Say it like you mean it.
Yo, so we got Vita, and then now on the list, we got a lot of people who said
I need a Dreamcast supporter
Oh,
in here because
and
I don't
you know
own
what?
one. I don't have any. I can't say anything personally about it, but I fucking love the Dreamcast. I need someone in here to defend its title.
Listen. I have a Dreamcast too. I like my Dreamcast. I'm not hating it, but I
You,
hacked that bitch and put the SD card on it so you can play all the game in the SD card, baby.
yo, and that thing has no piracy protection, man. None.
And I love my 3DO too. I got a 3DO.
Okay, good.
too.
Oh, nice.
I got it brand new in the box. Never been opened. Never been kissed. Never been played.
you know what? No, man. I'm sorry,
And
but
you know what?
fuck
And
the
you know what's really better?
3DO. Replace
You know what's
replace the 3DO with the Jaguar.
You know what's a good system that I'm
What?
surprised they haven't done it in the list? The Neo Geo system.
Jaguar had the best console
they
version
made-
of Doom. All you got to do is add in the music. If you can mod in the music, best version of Doom hands down on console.
And
No, you can't because you had the Neo Geo, baby, and that was expensive. they made that.
Yeah.
They made the box. Remember the box, that big
Neo
box, and the
Geo.
games were like $1,000,
And I mentioned-
$500.
Man, if you owned a Neo Geo,
I have
then
a Neo Geo.
your dad probably owned an arcade if you had a Neo Geo.
I agree.
I had
You know why?
a Neo Geo, and my daddy didn't know motherfucker. Oh no, Geo counter. He crossed the border from the boat from Cuba, so there's no way in hell did he own a Geo at all.
Hey, one thing I will say, Neo Geo games and everything was fabulous. Though I can't say it's failed. Like,
And
it
there's
just
no
cost too
loading
much.
time. Gotta remember, no loading time.
Oh, you right. That
Ah,
X out loading times. You're right.
only in the big box that it was like
Yeah.
$1,000, and the games were like 500 because they're
Oh,
actually
my
from the arcade itself. They were actually
Yeah,
raw.
they were real. They were
They're
arcade.
real. I have them. They're worth $1,000. I had all the Metal Slugs 1, 2, and 3. They were like right now. I think they're
Yeah, Metal
$1,500 just the cartridge itself. Not even the Neo Geo.
Right. But can it run Crisis?
Yeah.
Yo, my man, you're asking for too much, my man. You know, just be happy you got a box. I mean, what else you fucking want? I mean,
Yeah, he
you
said,
can't
yeah,
be
you
greedy.
asking for too much. It got a box? Yeah, okay.
But can it run Doom? Can it run Doom?
Uh,
Where's my fucking Neo Geo port of Doom? Tell me.
Yeah, he right. Where's Neo Geo port? Because that's really, can it run? I
oh,
know if
and
it
don't
run
forget the Neo Geo Pocket too.
Neo Geo.
I
And
got
that's what I
that
said.
too.
A lot of
Brand
these
new in the box.
consoles, man, out of these, but then I had to look at failed, right? So what would be considered failed? I consider these consoles failed. Atari
Yeah,
Lynx
but
would be
that-
failed.
but-
Jaguar
but-
would be failed to me.
Come on, and what about I could have forget that shit, the little red laser shit. You put your
Virtual
eyes on
Boy?
that bitch. The Virtual Boy, that shit was horrible.
Hey, I
Oh,
can't say that.
I got an even better one. That fucking
You know what it used to
R-Zone
do? You
thing.
know what it used to do to me when I played it? I put it in my eyes and it go like this. Look, burn my bitch. Look, it just burned my shit, and I just couldn't even see because it burned your eyes.
Yeah,
Everything
that
was
bad.
red.
No,
was
even better. The fucking R-Zone thing where you had to like actually go cross-eyed to look at it because it like sat in front of only one of them.
Yeah, he said the Virtual Boy. I ain't gonna lie, Virtual Boy was horrible. I played
Okay,
it.
but I gotta give a shout out to Tiger though, because the Gamecom was hilarious because it had a fucking modem plug-in.
Yo, I ain't gonna
You know what?
lie, modem plug-in, you never know. You know what I'm
Although
saying?
to quote the angry video game nerd, because he's totally correct, why not just use the computer? Because it was text only too, so you couldn't even go to most websites. It was basically good for like checking your email.
Yo, they didn't. But y'all remember Sega Genesis back in the day, man, had where you know, internet service. Y'all remember they had the online service where every week they would change the games?
Oh, that fucking television thing for the NES or SNES. I don't remember which one had
I
it.
know they had on Sega. They had on a couple. I remember the Sega Genesis one. Nintendo had it too. But Sega Genesis, I do remember my cousin was the only person that had it. And he was like, man, I got to hurry up and beat Comic Zone because when it comes Friday, they change the list. You know?
Okay, can we all agree that I think every single generation, like not console generation, but like human generation, there is something that someone had, right? Everyone had that friend that had the thing that you wanted but could never have. This generation is probably a VR headset. Your guys' generation probably would be something like a Neo Geo or some kind of like crazy console like that. I don't know what would happen before then.
It was the Nintendo. Everybody, have you ever seen the trailer for the Nintendo when it first came out? A little kid got it for a present, and he went, Nintendo!
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Nintendo, he right. Yo, BB, you are absolutely right, sir. Nintendo was so rampant. My family went through 3 Nintendos. Like we were just running through
64
Nintendo.
bits, 32 bits, 16 bits, 8 bits.
And after a while, you play, you go,
Yeah.
You turn blue. You turn so blue that when you play, you were so dizzy. I'm like, well, I'm going for the brick.
Yo, ain't like used to hit the system like,
And
damn
then,
it, bro.
and then remember what happens when even with the blowing shit that they have, you needed to put another cartridge on top of the other cartridge.
Oh yeah, that was dope. Hey, somebody come in and bump your dresser and your game freeze. Oh, you
That's it.
hot.
I don't know why people haven't tried my method. It's been foolproof. Okay, step 1, grab an anvil. Step 2, throw it on the console. Step 3, profit.
You wasn't even born, I think, in the 1980s. I don't even think you were born when Nintendo came out.
Nah, he wasn't.
I wasn't born when the fucking GameCube came out.
Yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't born when the GameCube came out.
So
You remember that was like prime time for us.
You can't talk shit about a prime time.
I'm only barely older than the Wii. Shit, I'm barely older than the 360.
So I was gonna say, what would be prime gaming for you? 360?
Well, for me, it was the Wii. So first console I ever owned that like was mine was a DSi, but the first home console that was like I played it the most was a Wii, and then I had a Wii U, and then I got an Xbox One, and then after that I basically switched to PC gaming.
See, okay. No,
mine was the Atari. I remember playing the Atari ET and all that bullshit. Yeah. And when it came out
I was born.
I said I don't want a Nintendo.
I was born at a very weird time where it's like I mean, maybe everyone was, but for me, it was kind of like 50-50 between the 360, PS3, Wii, and Wii U, PS4, Xbox One generations. Were like my youth was very much eaten up by the Wii and the 360. But then as I got into like my early teens and onward was Xbox One, PS4, and Wii U.
Mine was the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, and then when they came out with Genesis, I had it, but I wasn't crazy about it because it was the same shit as the Super Nintendo.
Yo, why you hating on the Genesis, man?
I had
the Mortal Kombat Blood Code Strider?
Genesis does what Genesis does what Nintendo.
And remember they came out with the Genesis game, the handheld that you could put the cartridge in there, the regular cartridge. Game Gear, and then you had. I have all that. I'm not talking shit about that, but
you're right. Nintendo still was the shit. I'm gonna be honest, it was.
Nintendo, because you only had 4 buttons in Genesis. You couldn't even play Street Fighter if you wanted to because you only had 4 motherfucking buttons.
I ain't gonna lie, that was a problem. You're right.
Before they came out with the 6 buttons.
6-button controller.
Before they came out, and that's when they came out with the 6 buttons. But the controllers, they were garbage. You can't tell me it was all that great.
No, them controllers
like plastic shit, like the buttons.
You know what? Somebody need to get the original. And BB, you got them. How does it feel if you grab an original controller from then to like grabbing a controller now? Yo, now that shit probably feel like a brick.
You look at yourself. You look at that bitch in the mirror. And you're like, did I play this bitch that time? What the fuck is this shit? And anybody who said they're gonna like to play old school, that's bullshit. You play for 5 minutes, you print that bitch off. That's it. Because I have them all. I have them all, and I put them on in the console. I have a console. I put it in the tape, and I'm like, I can't play this shit, man.
The only time I'm playing something is a game I probably didn't beat. And other than that, I ain't playing nothing. He right, it's 5 minutes.
I ain't gonna play that bitch with cheats.
Yeah, and yes, absolutely, with cheats, so I can run through it. And then it makes me bored, so then I play something.
We're too old for that shit to be playing 15 hours, 20 hours.
You're right, we is too old for that shit, man. You're right. I'm playing with cheats now on Street Fighter World Tour. Yo, Street Fighter 6, I'm like, man, I can play the World Tour regular, but hell, let me cut on some cheats and just buy everything.
But beside the whole point, even if they all do bad, I didn't give a fuck how bad they did. I have them all, and I love them all.
Yeah, so and I feel you on that. That's how I be. I love them all,
because a real collector and a real gamer doesn't shit on any system. I love them all. I don't give a fuck how bad they were. They're mine, and I love them. And they're good, bad. It doesn't matter. We played those bitches, right? We wasn't complaining when we were playing. Now we complain now because we have the new systems, and we're shitting all the shit now because we don't have it no more.
You're right.
You know.
You're right. We was loving that shit back then. Playing with the homies, all that shit. You ain't lying. We was loving it. We wasn't talking shit. Panasonic 3DO. I ain't gonna lie. When I seen that commercial, man, I ain't gonna lie. I seen the Philips CDI commercial. Remember that shit used to come on like 2 a.m? You know that, Jamal? I seen it. I used to be looking like, damn, you can surf the internet? Oh, shit, I can play the game? Oh,
Nick, I got an important question for you.
What's that?
All right. So this is the one I just thought of.
Why?
For each of the consoles,
why gotta be Nick?
Maybe this is something for another stream. Each of the console generations. Now, to make things simple, this is a part of the PS5.
Damn, you broke up. You broke up.
My man, you're freezing.
Fuck! My God, my internet is being real horrible now.
Stop downloading Pornhub and
Snow White.
You gotta stop downloading Snow White and the 7 Doors on Pornhub, man. Pause that bitch for a second. Just pause that.
Cut off VPN Unlimited. Cut off VPN.
Oh, man, come on,
Cut off NordVPN. You can't do the lives on VPN. You gotta cut the VPN off first. That's what makes.
I'm not on the VPN.
We all got VPNs. We some dirty pirates, boy. We all got it.
Fair enough. Is this listenable?
Yeah, you good.
Which console generation is the best to mod? And Switch is part of this PS5 and Xbox Series X, by the way.
You're breaking out again.
Yeah. So
You
which
break it out again.
okay. So he said which console. I know it's crazy, but he said which console generation was the best of mine. Now I was gonna say Switch hands down when we talked about, but he said console generation. So if I had to say for me, I want to say 360 era because you had 360, you had PlayStation 3, and what did you have? Wii all together, and they all were modified. They all could. I think they all went online, right? They all went online. They all was good.
And you can still use cheat codes and still go
Yeah,
online.
and you get talk to him. He ain't lying. That was a good time,
The latest generation
Best
is the ninth.
times, man.
We got our latest ninth generation, and that's Series X, PS5, and Switch. Switch is the only one you can mod, period. PS5 is getting close, but Switch is the only one you can mod, period. 8th generation, Wii U and PS4 are the only ones you can mod. PS4 is kind of user land. The Wii U is pretty fucking deep now, so I think the Wii U wins that. Xbox 360 is just awesome for anything at all, so I think Xbox 360 wins that. The Wii is easy, but there's not a lot of cool shit you can do. You can do really cool shit on the 360. And then when you get before that, it's basically just enabling game backups. Now, there's not really a whole lot of homebrew that you can do. But I think in terms of overall best console ever, I think the Switch wins. I'd say the 360, then the Wii.
It's just preference. It's just preference. If you
it's pure preference.
It's mostly preference. If you go,
I think the Switch though. I think the Switch you might be able to argue is objectively the best console to mod. I think you could come up with objective reasons for that.
I said it multiple times. There's no new
console.
Just
think about it. You can't even say like I could totally see someone being like. I could see someone being like, oh, but the process to mod a 360 is so much fun. Well, you can get that on the Switch now. Buy an OLED, and then you can solder in a mod chip on there.
Yes, that I guarantee you right now because I'm telling you, I hear a lot of shit. I'm in these groups and I hear this, and you even have 17 to 18 and 19 years old hacking Switches for $50 because they're competition themselves. What a ridiculous
and you can literally get mod chips now for the Switch for like $10-$15. Like there's no if you already have all the soldering parts, there's like no parts cost for it because you just got to pay like $15. You already got your wire, you got your solder.
Listen, but I'm telling you, you have these young kids that put their girls' panties down and they're hacking them. I'm telling you, 19, 20 years old doing them. Horrible work. Look, I'm doing the Switch right now this weekend, and the customer told me
it's because too many. It's because people have gotten too comfortable with Nintendo products. Nintendo products have been too easy to hack in the past, so people are just assuming like, oh, okay, I just got to throw this little board in here and it'll do the thing. And it's not that simple. The Xbox generation, though, the first Xbox, the best hacks for it were all hard mod. The people who are really deep into that scene, the people who really understand it, are used to putting in mod chips, not necessarily for the Nintendo scene, because the only other mod chip I could think of for Nintendo consoles was for the GameCube. And sure, the Wii had one kind of, but that one you didn't even need to solder. Like later ones you didn't even need to solder, and that was just for game backups again. Wii U didn't need to solder. Switch early didn't need to solder. Original Wii, all the really cool shit you could do didn't need to solder. GameCube, you did need to solder, I think, but even then, it mostly was just for game backups. So, you basically only had hardcore enthusiasts at that point. But what got homebrewing into the mainstream was having so much homebrew. It wasn't just necessarily the piracy; it was the homebrew and the cool shit you could do, which started with the Wii for Nintendo. And it was easy from then on up until the Switch got patched. And then you needed to start doing hard mods, and people had their expectations set or they had their expectations set incorrectly on how easy it would be. I think that's why you're seeing such an uptick.
I'm telling you, when this shit dies, when the Switch is done over, meaning with a new console, I bet they're going to come out with a homebrew. You want to put no mod chip?
Nah, I doubt it.
You know what? Hold up. I want to say this. Switch scene is one of those scenes where we can all agree there's a lot of different things behind the scenes that still has not come out.
I'm telling you, when they come out with the new generation,
we know.
I'm telling you, I still have 7 Switches, V1s at version 1.0.0. And I'm telling you,
I guess
come out with a homebrew.
What's that? He broke
Say it
up.
like you mean it. Spit it.
He said, spit it out.
Oh, look, since you put that motherfucker switch on, since you put that switch on, you've been fucking glitching. That's it. It's over for you, my man. You're done.
I'm getting DDoS. Nintendo's DDoSing me.
Fuck. That's
He
it.
said Nintendo. See, he said Nintendo.
I fucked up. But I was saying about the thing. I'm gonna look at Switch, and then the gentleman opened it and he told me it was a V6, but it's a pickle fly. Oh, the nigga lied to you.
He told him he had a
V6, and then when he opened it, it was not the pickle fly, the little
You
blue
talking about
one,
that,
the blue chip that with the USB
with
one,
the
the chip
RP20, not the RP2040.
the 2040, yeah,
yeah, it is. It's 20.
Yeah, the little, not the with the adapters, the little cheap one where you have to add the resistors.
Just a little chip.
That you have to add the resistors and do more work on it.
And he did
got him
all
like
that.
a scumbag. The scumbag.
You can't do nothing. Yeah, you like, man, look, I can't.
Dude,
he don't know how to fix it. He looking at it like,
I'm telling you, this
do
community is getting worse, dude. People stealing their own jobs. Listen, there was a guy that copy and paste in the group, and he said it. I copied from somebody else, Switch, selling it for 1,000, and then I copy and paste and change some little words, and I took $300 off mine to sell it.
Oh my goodness.
And the guy told him, "Bill, you're a scumbag. What? I saw you went to my page and the same post as mine, and you're selling yours to ball me of my console. I'm telling you, it's dirty. Scumbags.
That's
and then
bogus. Man.
And then when they asked me how much I charge, I got booted. When I said I get 800, 1,000, he goes, "You're a fucking lying motherfucker." and then boot me. They gave me the boot. And then they put me back in. And they put me back in because the other guy goes, "He's telling the truth." What the fuck I'm gonna lie? What I'm gonna win of lying?
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, he's lying. So.
And I told them, you guys are scumbags because you guys should be working together. Now you motherfuckers are doing it for $75 to $50. Next time you're gonna do it, what, $50 and get my ass with it?
I said they doing it for $50. Dude, I'll do it for $50. They pulling out that RP with that 2040.
Yes, they do. Everybody's using it. And you know what the funny part is? They're saying that. I mean, I talked to my best friend.
Yeah.
And I told him, am I going crazy? Because I'm hearing they're saying that little blue chip bullshit is better than the V6. How could that be impossible? How that shit's gonna be more better than the other one if it's manufactured? The other one like really has memory. So he told me with a memory. So the V6 is better than the Pico 40-bit piece of shit, whatever the fuck it is. I don't even use that shit no more, man. I never even use it. I have 5 of them. I ordered them when they first talked about it. And then when I saw the things they were doing, the ugly resistors, turning them and all, it was ugly wires all over the place, more work. I'm like, I can't put that in the customer. I don't mind doing it for myself because my Switch.
Yeah, but I ain't about to put that on.
I'm not putting that in the customer's Switch, man. No, I can't do that, man. That's grimy.
Yeah, that is.
And then people complain about, the wiring, the ribbons are garbage. No, nigga, you don't know how to solder
your Switch,
bitch. Shut the fuck up. The ribbons
on your Switch around and act like it ain't where you can't. Hey, shit don't hold. You got.
The ribbons are 100 times easier. I can do an OLED right now an hour. It takes me an hour to do. Damn, and before it used to take like 3 hours, 2 hours and a half to do.
It took hours. Yeah, you right. Damn.
And they're complaining that it's just crazy. But this Sunday, I'm telling you, my brother, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm going.
No, but are you gonna get on?
Yeah, I'm definitely. That's what I meant to say. I was supposed to go Sunday. I got hacked, man. I don't know if you know. My Facebook got hacked.
It was Father's Day. He wasn't gonna get on. Fuck that shit. He's a motherfucker. I got on Saturday. I'm not gonna get on Sunday.
Look, yeah, and you know what? On Sunday, I was so eager to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? And then, man, my joint got hacked at 12:50 a.m. I had to try to get my joint back, and you already know with Facebook, man. I had to upload my ID. They ain't got nothing but bots. All right, so then I'm waiting up 48 hours. 48 hours passed. Ain't nothing happened. So I said, forget it now. I start putting in like 10 of them. And next thing you know, one of them got answered, and then all of them start getting answered, and I got my account back. Man. So I was like, good, I can go live now. Oh,
But I have something on Sunday really special.
Yeah, that's why I can't wait.
It's really special. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be off the hook. Everybody gonna go crazy. Everybody gonna like. I've been Stage, right? That's his name, right? Stage, whatever.
Sage.
Hey, he wants me every day on. I was on in the morning with him, and I was the next day for 2 hours, 3 hours with him. I did the Easter egg. He wanted me to do the Easter egg for Call of Duty.
Man, that's my knees. I'm kicking it with him, man.
I'm telling you, people love me. I'm just funny, man. I gotta say what I gotta say. You know what it is, what it is.
Yo, BB, I'm about to go and start making these burgers, man. Bumper. Well, anything you gotta say for we shut it down? You took it, man. You killed it, man.
Come on, guys. If you guys can do this. or this. Come on, hit that like, baby. It's just right there in the spot. And remember, oh shit! There we go.
That's fire. Yo, that's fire that they can see the shirt and just instantly do it. Yo, that is so fire. Yo, man, appreciate it, man. We gonna be on Sunday, man. We gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna let you on.
You gotta put me on the big. You have to put me on the big screen.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you do it. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. We got it. All right, man. So definitely, BB, my dogs. I'm gonna holler at you, son.
Have a good night, brothers.